Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. On our last installment, we've completed day 2 of our investigation, and we are going to actually finish up the case of the stolen turnabout. So what have we learned? We learned that Roger Rabbit still is much of a dick as he was in the movie. Wait. Well, what's going to happen here now? Well, let's find out as we continue the final courtroom battle of this unusual case in episode 2, The Stolen Turnabout. From the chapter start, please. October 14th, 9:41 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4.
Hey, Nick!
What is it this time?
You won't believe how many people are here for the trial!
Well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door!
Next door?
Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atmy's trial today!
Detective Atmy?
They say they're going to try him as Master Mouse.
Already? That was fast.
Well, I'd love to see Master Mouse trial.
I know. Oh, by the way, where's Pearls?
Oh, she went back home. She says she can't neglect her training anymore.
I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh?
Yeah,
One moment. I need some water. Give me a second here. That's a long break for me. We're getting some water.
Yeah, ever since that incident last year.
Oh, that's much better.
Please don't ignore me! Oh, Mr. Wright. Good morning.
No one likes me. Yeah, you're too much of a bitch. No one knows me even if I kill someone.
Oh, come on, don't be silly. Oh, wait a sec.
You don't mean you're the murderer?
No, I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor.
Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending him to help him commit the heist.
Do you think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick?
Possible. But today's trial's a race against the clock.
How come? Let's just take our time like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option. October 14th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 6. Starting at 8. Courtroom is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot.
He's got the judge in the palm of his hands, yet again.
Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. 9! No, 8! That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes, well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in the safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. You hear that, folks? We're counting for 17. We're counting for 17 cups of coffee. But the first one is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness? Okay, then let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant. Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? Maybe a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but... I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. You've got guts, try it. Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. And don't steal it this time. You did it, didn't you?
Yes.
What? No! That's not true! For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record straight for the shortest trial ever.
Well, Mr. Light already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making.
And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. I wish I could go home.
Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened.
My visit to KB Security. It was short. It was sweet. It was... That evening around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I've been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
"1 a.m. The exact time the murder took place. 9. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up." It's better today, too. Just like my destiny.
You never know from the way he's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. S'il vous plaît. My visit to KB Security. What we're going to do here is we're going to do the following. Press this statement. 1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that?
Yes, that's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow and my internal clock was also a bit...
1 a.m. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure. Wow, okay. Next, we press 2. It ordered you there?
It's the first time I got a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you have gotten other blackmail letters then?
Of course. They say things like, steal this or take that. Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Light? Please don't say anymore.
Now what should I do? Press harder. So, what did the blackmail letter say? I'm tripping up on words. So, what did the blackmail letter in question say?
Said to bring $50,000.
Money, perfect motive for committing murder.
Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway!
Oh, is that right?
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. Had nothing to be afraid of.
Important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
A muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do.
The blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything.
In this case, let's press that too. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct?
I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask to mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me.
He didn't?
Anyway, I don't care what anyone else says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me.
So that's why Mr. Light didn't believe he was mask to mask.
That's why I knew they were just hollow threats.
Well, let's press this statement. You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right?
Yes, that's right.
A security chief. You? And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge. Perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Like, why were you fired? Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job.
Well,
the world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never said that. How true.
okay, then I take it back.
Defendant, please answer the question.
I needed money.
You needed money.
Well, you see, Desi loves to spend. It's kind of her hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company. Come again? KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief,
you stole some data and sold it.
Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately.
What?
I wish I never asked that. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I quit on my own. Why isn't it? You don't look so good.
Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that.
He sure told you.
So, you admit you stole data from your company, is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crash and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. He says he fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that. In this case, actually, no. Press that. Why would you do something like that?
Well, for Desi's hobby, what else?
Wasting money, huh?
It's not a waste! So, Mr. Light doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she?
So it would seem.
I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other.
I can't believe it. This case has gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples. Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright.
There wasn't much to his testimony, was there?
Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least that's what it sounds like to me.
Uh-oh, I got a bad feeling about this. We better be careful.
But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth.
Yeah.
So instead we have this, that statement, which is what we need to do. So here we're going to present a profile, namely his wife's. Ron Delight's wife hates criminals and cowards more than anything. Objection! Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday.
Huh? What doesn't?
I think you must have been scared, very scared, of having a certain person find out your secrets. A certain person. Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife.
But I... Well, listen to me, my Desi,
Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins.
Hold on!
Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh,
Oh, everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Desi like that, or you'll be sorry!
Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick?
I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. Yeah, see? 20 minutes on my clock. Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife and killed to protect his secret. Family man who cared just a little too much. The motive's clear. Let's move on.
Ugh.
What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. At the CEO's office.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. But suddenly I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead.
I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that Master Moss struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Atme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that.
What are you saying? I really was attacked!
We'll find out if you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Wright? Don't go easy just because he's your client. 10. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend to the face. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godo. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. At the CEO's office. What we're going to do is we're going to press a certain statement here. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. Sounds kind of, I don't know, blankish, I suppose. War what, sir? Hold it!
That?
Could you please clarify what you are referring to?
Why, my Master Mask costume, of course.
Well, wait just a moment. Master Mask?
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dress as Master Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
What?
Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this.
I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. Seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind?
My 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. Seriously, that's your 6th cup? That's a lie, man. I'm counting the whole piece, man. That's your 10th cup. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony. And namely, will be say, if I had been killed,
I had been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Master Mouse costume.
Alright, so let's press that. Why were you dressed up as a Master Mask?
Why, because I'm Master Mouse, of course.
What are you talking about? Master Mouse trial is being held next door!
Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the mask issue. So I thought I should go as him just to be safe.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than expected.
Took a lot longer? What's he talking about? Press harder. What do you mean by took a lot longer?
Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body.
What was that? Back up a second.
Yes.
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Well, yeah.
Inconceivable! Why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the wash machine? 2 days after they realize it's funky. What? The answer's simple. When they take them off. 2 days after they realize it's funky. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying.
Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer?
So you're not as stupid as you look.
His metaphor this time was really obscure.
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you?
Well, yes.
Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
And what he says, what break wind? Uh-oh, looks like a storm front is moving in over this fair weather, Judge.
I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes.
Well, in that case, I got something to add to that. Actually, no, not that. It's this. Objection! Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? And what might this be? the record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. What? If Mr. Ron DeLight truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, security guard would have been heading his way. Ha! Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex-new boyfriend and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. DeLight could have known. Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. DeLight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. This buzzer is extremely loud! There's no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Conscious? What do you mean by that? 10, 11. Fine. Let's hear your theory. Alright. Remember the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. DeLight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. Unconscious. So he fainted. That's why Mr. DeLight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So what are you trying to say? Mr. DeLight was knocked out and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right, whoever it was knocked out Ron DeLight and then pressed the buzzer. Order in the court! Mr. Wright, this is... This is preposterous! It was this kid. Ron DeLight is the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. Ah! So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright? I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene. But how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? I can prove it, all right. The defense opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. Take that! I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible. Damn, I can't read that word. Damn it, Capcom. Let me read that again. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible. Blah. Why the big words, man? Why the big words? I believe this is the piece of evidence you were looking for. God damn. the emergency buzzer. I know people are going to be like, you can't say that word. Shut up. Is there some kind of clue on it?
Absolutely not.
12. Hey, come on now. At least give it some thought to what you say before opening your mouth.
The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
Now I'm the one who's clueless. This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind. Ron Delight obviously wiped him off. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. He touched that button, I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask. And Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints? Order! 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 You will see him. 13. I've been forced to eat crow.
I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is.
However, the real killer was there at the scene. Why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden? Shit, a brick. Looks like you're fresh out of politics.
Howdy, Nick.
Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place.
And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right?
The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer.
Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed.
Security was supposed to respond? Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say. Very well, then. You've got some guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? To call the security guard. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose? Yes. Although it turned out he never showed up.
Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time.
What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer. Hypothetically, yes. Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight.
And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think I was the murderer.
Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron DeLite for the murder. Order! 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 You will see him. 13. I've been made to eat my words once again.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait a second. I'm the one and only master.
The master. Nick, you mean the real killers?
We're going to drag that person in here right now.
But who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. DeLite's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Cain Bullard. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. DeLite for the murder of Cain Bullard? That person just happens to be... Look at me! Take that! Detective Luke at me. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace detective.
Look at me?
You mean Master Moss did it? Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Cain Bullard! Order! Order! Mr. Wright, explain yourself! Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime? They're not even close. Murder is a more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to capital punishment. Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke at me confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as, well, as Master Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. To be found guilty. Master Mask had the perfect alibi when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Master Mask was Luke Atme's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi. The guilty verdict. As an alibi?! You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Atme's verdict. It's a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. Mr. Luke Atme's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to prove adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. DeLite will be left with no grounds for appeal. Am I really sure about this? A bet's only good when your life's the ante.
Mr. Wright, I believe you!
Mr. DeLite.
So please, I'm begging you!
Thanks. But my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Phoenix. What was that?
Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust.
That voice. It sounds like... Mia! Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. So that's your answer, huh? Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke at me to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. October 14th, 11:58 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5.
Well, Sir Detective Actorman. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. I know, Sir Detective Actorman, you were the one who...
That's enough! This court is no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant Luke at me. Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet, please! Well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom. Who's this Jose? Oh my god, he is freaking connected. I'm sorry. My name's Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke at me.
Accusation! You accuse Master Musk?
That man is not Master Musk. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? Even at me shitting a brick. There's brick shitting all over this place, man. And when we return, we are going to actually bring about the conclusion to this very trial as we speak. So stay tuned for the next part of this exciting case right after this.